So before we get started, I know we prayed a lot tonight, but could we just take a moment just to pray before we dive into God's Word? And as I'm praying, I would love it if you guys would pray for me, and just pray that the Spirit would speak through me tonight, and that the Lord would move in my heart as I give you this message that the Lord's put on my heart, and that I would obey Him and just surrender this to Him. God, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you so much for this camp, this place that you have set apart for us to come to know you. Just love you, be loved by you, feel your presence. Get to know your children. Just be given life back here, God. Take a rest from the world and just come and set ourselves on you. How you are most important in our lives, God. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for tonight in advance what you will do for this week, God. This night is totally yours. It's in your hands. In Jesus' name. Amen. Honestly, I want to say thank you to you guys for even just being here tonight and allowing me to speak to you guys. Like, it is so humbling to be here tonight speaking to you. That you guys would let me, and the Lord would choose me. Like, I remember going to my church camp in high school and being like, how amazing would it be to be on stage and speak? And that's something that I never really thought would come true for so long. And the Lord has just been so faithful in it. It's been nothing that I've done in my life to lead to that, but just the Lord has just been so faithful to lead me here. And I'm so thankful for that. Thank you guys for your attention, however much it is, and just for being here and having fun with me all week. You guys made this such a blast, all the games and stuff. So tonight, as we get into the Word, there's three things that I'm going to talk about tonight, and they may seem disconnected at times, but through the end, I hope you see how they're all connected and they're all playing out in our lives every day, every season, every moment. And those three things are this: one, Josh touched on it in his sermon a little bit, that Jesus is after your guys' heart. He's not about your behaviors or what you do. He's really after your heart and you. Like, he cares for you. Like, you slip up, he knows that. You're going to slip up again. You're always going to slip up again. But when you come back to Jesus, he's after your heart. He's after you. And that's what he wants. Two is that Jesus is patient. I know a lot of times in this world we're rushed and we're in a hurry for everything. And that we feel like we have to get things done. We have to be the best by a certain time or we're going to fail. But Jesus is outside of that. He's outside of time and he's patient. His timing is better than ours. You should know that if you're not where you want to be right now, that's okay. If you're working towards something and you feel like you're not moving forward, that's okay. Like, God is moving you forward, God is reaching out to you, and God is working in you and in those around you, and he is patient. And the last one is this, is that Jesus meets you where you're at. So, wherever you're at now, that's where Jesus is also with you. You don't have to ascend to a certain spot. You don't have to get a certain way, act a certain way, be good enough for Jesus. He will meet you where you're at right now. Anytime, any place. He is there for you. And so, like I said, the first one we're going to talk about is Jesus being after your heart and what that looks like and what that means. And so, if you guys want to turn with me in your Bibles to John 4, and it's the story of the woman at the well. So maybe you've heard it before, maybe you haven't. But it's a story about this woman who comes as well and she meets Jesus. And Jesus is after her heart. And so I'm going to start in verse 4. John 4, verse 4. Now he had to go through Samaria, he being Jesus. So he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of the ground of Jacob, and given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus was tired. And he was tired as he was from the journey, he sat down by the well. It was about noon. When a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? For Jews do not associate with Samaritans." So before we go any further, I want to give you guys a little bit of background and context about what's going on here, why she would say those things if you haven't been taught. Because it's key. It's really big to what is playing in here. So like the emotion and the weight that this woman is carrying and that Jesus And so, in this chapter, we see her say that, how could you ask me for a drink? You don't associate with me. So in this time period, there were two people groups. There were the Jews and the Samaritans, and they did not get along. There was extreme racial tension. The Jews were seen as these purebred people, and the Samaritans were seen as mutts and cast-offs and less than the Jews. And so far, in fact, that Jews at this time, when they would travel north, they would actually pass through and have routes around Samaria, just so they wouldn't have to go through it. And at the beginning of this passage, it says that Jesus had to go through Samaria, which by Jewish standards is not true. He actually would have gone out of his way to go around Samaria. But Jesus, in some translations, is being led by the Spirit, has to go to Samaria. And what he does is he goes to this woman. So he literally goes to this context of people that are seen as cast-offs and not good, just for this woman and just for her heart. That's all he wants, and he puts everything on the line with his people back home for her, just like he does for you and me. And so, now we need to talk about like the woman and her background a little bit, which we'll get more into. But just so you know, women at this time were very low in society, very low, weren't allowed to speak many times, and for Jesus to ask her for a drink, one, she's a woman, two, she's Samaritan, that just didn't fly. And so I'll get into it in a little bit, but she also is carrying a ton of baggage. She has a huge wedge in her life that she knows is there, and that we're going to find out that Jesus also knows is there. Okay. So Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God, who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and livestock?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks from the water that I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water, so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." She says, "I have no husband." And Jesus says to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is that you've had 5 husbands, and the man you have now is not your husband. What you have said is quite true." And so to pause again and give you a little bit of context on what just happened is that this woman has never met Jesus in her life, and she's like, "Give me a drink, let me drink from this water that's talking about this living water." And he's like, "Go get your husband," right? And in him saying, "Go get your husband," she's like, she has this thing in her past that she wants to hide. So she just says, "I don't have a husband," right? And so she has this hurt in her heart, this thing that she did or has been done to her. We don't know what it is. Some think that her 5 husbands, she had committed adultery, and that's why. And so she was shamed. Some believe that she had 5 husbands because she had 5 widowers, that she had married 5 men. All of them had died. And so this husband this man that she's with now was like, "I'm not marrying you because I don't want to die." And so she has so much shame and guilt from her past, whether it's adultery or that she actually is extremely outcast. She's looked down on in Samaria, which is already outcasted. So she's an outcast of the outcast. Yet Jesus still sees her, and he even knows everything she's done. And he tells her that, and she is like, whoa, and so she goes on to say, "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim the place where he was worshipped is in Jerusalem." "Woman," Jesus replied, "believe me, a time is coming when you will worship the Father, neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know. For salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshipers worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth. For they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the Spirit and truth." The woman said, "I know that the Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I, the one who am speaking to you, I am he." And so, in this, there's a little bit of a back and forth that's kind of complicated, and you might not get it or what's going on. But so Jesus sees her, and he calls out what she's done in the past, what she hurts most from, the thing that you hope no one here finds out, that you hope no one finds out you've done, or that has been done to you. Jesus comes to her and has never met her and says, "I know what you did." his offer to her is still grace, it's still love. And he tells her, basically in saying this, that there was a time when it mattered what you did for worship, but there's a time coming now where all I desire, all the Father desires, is to worship him in spirit and truth. It doesn't matter who you are or what you've done in the past, that doesn't matter anymore. Jesus has paid that price, he's died that death for you to be able to worship in spirit and in truth, no matter what you've done. And so in that, Jesus, she tried to set up walls, ask questions that block him coming from her heart, just like we all do. When we know someone wants to come after our heart, we can defend it, we can try and keep people out, we can push people away anyway, but Jesus goes right through them. He dismisses them and still says, I want your heart. I want you to worship me in truth and in spirit. And so in this, he gets her heart. She knows, she's like, this is the Messiah, like this must be. And we see that in Jesus getting her heart, she gets transformed. She now, and so remember she was hiding, I missed this earlier, so let me say, she was at the well at noon, which is not when anyone goes to the well. It's hot, it's humid, it's terrible then. She's the only one there because she's hiding from the rest of her town because of what her past is. And so in this, it goes on to say, then leaving her water jar, the woman went back to town and said to the people, come see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah? They came out to the town and made their way toward her. And then if you jump forward to 39, after the disciples come back, we see what happens in Samaria because of this woman, because of her transformation. It says that many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. He told me everything I ever did. So the Samaritans came to him, they urged him to stay with them. He stayed 2 days, and because of the words, many more believed. And they said to the woman, we no longer believe just because of what you have said. Now we have heard ourselves, and we know that this man really is the Savior of the world. And so this woman who was hiding at the well from her town for shame and guilt that she felt, like imagine that you wouldn't ever go to lunch because you knew you would get bullied or picked on. So maybe you stay back in a classroom and eat with a teacher that you like, or maybe you just stay back and hide by yourself because you're afraid of what you've done or what's been done to you will come out if you go with the other people. That's what this woman is doing by going to the well. This time that Jesus meets her in that. And he goes after her heart. And in this, she no longer has any shame about what she's done or has been done to her. She's allowed to freely be who she is, who God has made her, in spirit and in truth, no matter what she's done. And she even goes back to the town that she was once hiding from for what she did. And the first thing she says to them is, this is what I did. This man told me everything I ever did, everything that was ever done to me. And she leads with the thing she once hid from everyone. So that thing that you're hiding in your heart, Jesus wants it. He wants it so much that until you give it to him, he can't have it all. And Jesus isn't after part of your heart, part of your life. He doesn't want to be third. He doesn't want to be below sports. He doesn't want to be below anything. He's after all of your heart. Everything must come second to him. And that's what this woman gets, is that she no longer has to hold this weight. She can let it go, and anyone can know. Like, that's what I want to be like. Anything I've done wrong, like, I get to joyfully know that God has died for me for it. Like, I am forgiven. And that's what Jesus wants. He wants your whole heart, and he wants you to be able to be who you are, a child of God, regardless of your past, present, or future. Because he wants you. And so, this woman, Jesus gives her heart, and she leaves transformed. And so, now, we move on to the next part, which this plays through the entire Bible, the entire Gospel of John. Jesus is after everyone's heart. But now I want you guys to focus on something else. Like I said, is that Jesus is patient. In this story of the woman at the well, we see it happen fast. We see her change fast. We see transformation happen right away like that. She leaves her water and she runs. But Jesus isn't always like that. It doesn't always come that easy or that quick. Sometimes it's a process, it's longer, it's harder. But Jesus' timing is better than our time. And so the first place I want you to go is Luke 24. This is on the road to Emmaus. So I'll set the scene for you. In this chapter, Jesus has died, and he's already resurrected at this point. Or there's rumors of him being resurrected. Not everyone knows for sure. And so Jesus, these just two disciples that know everything that has happened, and they're walking from Jerusalem, where Jesus was killed, to Emmaus. And so Luke 24, starting verse 13, is where the story picks up. And he says, "Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them. But they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, 'What are you discussing together as you walk along?' They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, asked him, 'Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem who does not know the things that are happening these days?' It's like everyone in the town of Jerusalem knows what just happened. And Jesus was like, 'Oh, what's going on?' And they're like, 'Are you kidding me? Do you not know?' It's like if a huge TikTok went viral and you're like, 'Hey, have you seen this TikTok?' I'm like, 'What do you mean?' And it's like, yeah, that's what Jesus was like. Not one of mine, but just say your name. Those are. But side note, how many of you know my actual name and my name's not just TikTok? Okay, my name is McGerran, by the way, just so everyone knows. You don't have to call me McGerran, you can call me TikTok. But I just wanted you guys to know my name. I felt like it might be like a disconnect there, but okay, so anyway. So, what things, he asked? About Jesus of Nazareth, they replied. He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all over people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel, and what more, it is the third day since all this took place. In addition, some of the women amazed us. They went to the tomb early in the morning, but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it, just as the woman had said, but they did not see Jesus. He said to them, 'How foolish you are, and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Messiah have to suffer these things and then enter his glory?' And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus continued on as if he were going further. But they urged him strongly, 'Stay with us, for it is nearly evening.' The day was almost over, so he wouldn't stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread and gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, 'Were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us?' They got up at once and returned to Jerusalem. They found the 11 and those with them assembled together and saying, 'It is true, the Lord has risen and appeared to Simon.'" And so, let's break this down a little bit what just happened. Because this is crazy. I do just vanished in front of their eyes right after recognizing. So, I want you guys to see the patience doesn't really stick out in this. It's like, how is Jesus patient then? Let me reread a part that he said. It said, "And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself." So Jesus, if you guys didn't know, is in every Old Testament book in prophecy or some ways that you have to study long and hard and years to understand them all. I do not claim that at all. But Jesus knows it all. And so Jesus takes the time out of his walk to sit down and go through. That's the entire Old Testament he walked through. Every book in the Old Testament, Jesus is like, let me show you what that really means. Let me show you why that's written. It's about me. It's about him. It's about what he did. Did he not have to suffer all these things? And so he takes the time out of his day to walk with them through that. That's a long time. If he was in a rush, he could be like, "I'm the Messiah." And they're like, "Oh, you're the Messiah," and that would have been good enough. They probably would have believed because he's Jesus in the flesh. But he walks them through the entire Old Testament. That would take so long if it wasn't him being Jesus himself. And so, he is so patient with us. And if you notice, it says that their hearts were burning the whole time. So, in doing this and teaching them the scriptures, he's after their heart, and their heart burns for him. And when they finally recognize him, it took them the whole time to realize, oh, that's Jesus himself. When he finally gets them, their hearts are changed and transformed. And then, after all that studying, that helping, then they go in and tell people, look what Jesus has done. And they believe. And so, the next part is, if you know the story of Thomas, the disciple, who doubted that Jesus was alive, had risen again. So, turn with me to John 20, starting in verse 24. So, John 20, verse 24, before this, Jesus has risen. He has appeared to all of his disciples, to Mary Magdalene, and except Thomas. So he hasn't appeared to Thomas yet. Yet all the disciples, all the people he was closest with, have already told Jesus, or have told Thomas that, yeah, Jesus has risen. He came and spoke to us. He's alive. And Thomas is still like, I don't know. I don't believe it. I just have doubts. I have questions. Until I see it for myself, I won't believe. And so, let's read it for the word itself. So now Thomas, one of the 12, was not with the disciples when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, we have seen the Lord. But he said to them, unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. And so here's where Jesus could show up right then. I think Thomas I'm good. But a week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. Then he said to Thomas, put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand, put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe. Thomas said to him, my Lord, my God. And Jesus told him, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and have believed. And so, everyone already knew, and Thomas was still doubting. It's maybe that's you, in this. Maybe everyone here is coming forward, going to the altar, giving their life to Christ, and maybe you don't even know what that means, and maybe you feel like you have to, doubt is okay. Not knowing, not being 100% sure is an okay spot to be in. Jesus is patient with you. You don't have to commit to something that you're not ready for. He's walking you there. Slowly, he's your father, he's guiding his hand, he's guiding his child by the hand a perfect father would do. And so, Jesus, he waited a whole week. He let Thomas sit and doubt for a whole week. Being is he really listening? I don't know, I don't believe. We do that our whole lives, a lot of times, sometimes. It's a tough question to deal with, but Jesus always comes through in the end. And so Jesus, a week later, he's so patient. He let Thomas work out all the questions he had on his own and see where he's let him lead, and then he comes to him a week later, and he meets him right where he's at. He's look at my hands, put your hand into my side. And he doesn't condemn him for his doubts. The last verse may seem like Thomas is condemned, but it's not. He said, blessed are those who will not see yet have believed. That's not a diss on Thomas. He doesn't care. Thomas goes on. Thomas is transformed. He goes on to share the gospel with all of India. He's the saint apostle of India, if you're Catholic. He shared the gospel first in that entire region. Because Jesus met him where he was and was patient with him in his doubts and his questions. And he answered them. And Thomas was yeah, Lord, you have my heart now. I believe, and that's okay. It's okay to have doubts. Let Jesus answer them. You know what I mean? He wants to, he will. No worry, no question, no doubt is too big for the God of the universe to come and answer you. And he wants you. He's that big and he still sees you. He still knows your questions and your worries. And he still is going to answer them for you. That's how good he is. And so lastly, for the patience part, you don't have to turn your Bible, there's a lot to it. It's in John 11, if you want to read it. It's the story of Lazarus. And so, if you don't know, Lazarus dies and Jesus resurrects him from the dead. And Lazarus is a good friend of Jesus. And so, word comes to Jesus that Lazarus is sick. He's dying, in fact. If Jesus doesn't come now, he will die. So Jesus gets this word, and he says, okay, I'm going to stay here for 2 more days. I'm going to stay in Jerusalem for 2 more days. And, that's bad. Imagine if you had a cure for a disease that your friend was sick with, and they're hey, can you come bring this to him? He's not right now. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a rush. He's patient. He's and so, this is showing us that God's patient in his timing, not in ours. We want things all the time. We want things that happen whenever, but God's patient in his timing, and we have to trust in his word. And so, 2 days go by, and Jesus is all right, it's time. Let's go to see Lazarus, see how he's doing. And when they get there, Lazarus, his sister, comes out to Jesus and says, Jesus, if only you were here sooner, my brother would still be alive. Jesus, how, if only you had come sooner, this doesn't make any sense. You could have healed him. I know that I believe it. I know you're Lord. You could have healed him. Why didn't you come heal him? Jesus, eventually, walks with them and comes to the tomb and says, Lazarus come out. Like Lazarus had died. Had been dead for days, in fact. To the point when he said, bring me to the tomb, I want to see him. Like, they said, that's going to smell really bad. Like, they said, like, don't open the tomb, he's rotting, and he's been dead for too long. And he says, like, no, open the tomb. Lazarus, come out. And so in this, Jesus, he could have rushed to Lazarus' side and healed him instantly. But he said something in John 11. He says, it's better that Lazarus suffers through this for the glory of God. Like we go through suffering, we're called even to go through suffering for the glory of God. And we want it to end as fast as we can. We want to get out of the suffering and into the light every time. Like, when it's cold up here, I hate the cold. I want winter to end so fast that it's be spring. Like, but we're called to suffer many things for Christ. It's like when you're going through something that's hard, it's like, when will this ever end? Like, trust Jesus that he's patient. So that hurts sometimes, but it's better in the end because while they asked for a healing, they asked for a disease to be healed from Jesus. Jesus was like, if you trust me in my timing, you'll be resurrected. Like, a dead body will come to life. Like, that is far greater than a healing, like, in my mind. It's like, when I hear that, I see that, I'm like, that's amazing. Like, you don't hear that very often. And so, you even read in John 11, because of this, because he waited and was patient, many believed. See, he had already done healings in the past. He had already done all those things, and people still haven't believed. But when he does his resurrection, many more people believe. So maybe the suffering you're going through, that you are having trouble being patient with, but God has no trouble with, he's not in a rush. Maybe he wants to do something in you that you don't even expect, that you never thought would be possible, so that people around you and that your faith will be strengthened in him. And yeah, it hurts, but he's patient, and it's something that we can learn from him. And so now, the last part is all about Peter. It's in John 21, if you want to turn there with me, where we'll be. Peter, if you guys know, is an absolute stud. Like, he's Jesus' right-hand man. Like, he is the rock of the church. That's why his name is his name. Gary talks about. Like, it means something. Like, he is that. Like, he wrote books in the Bible. He was incredible. Like, I want to be like Peter. I don't know about you guys, but like, if I was to be like Peter, I'd feel like a superhero, man. That dude healed people that couldn't walk, like, everywhere he went. He preached the gospel. He was amazing. Yet we get caught up in all these things about Peter that make him so amazing, so far from us, that we fail to realize that Peter was a man. Like, he walked this earth like you and I did. And he was far closer to us and who he was than he ever would be in Jesus, the perfect, the God of the universe. Like, you and I are more like Peter than you know. Peter messed up a lot. Like, Peter didn't understand things a lot, like, more than you know. To the point where at one point in his life, Jesus says, get behind me, Satan, too, because he doesn't know what's going on. And Peter wants to do his own plans, and Jesus has his plans. And Peter's like, no, like, he's fired up, he loves the Lord, but like, he's got just a little bit off. Jesus calls him out on it. Like, that would be terrible. Jesus was like, get behind me, Satan, to me. Like, I would probably cry for the rest of my life. Like, but, so yeah, Peter, like, I don't want you guys to think of him as some imaginary figure, fictional story that they can read about in books. Like, Peter was a real man. Like we may meet him one day. Like, I don't know, I hope so. But. So I want to focus on the end of John's gospel from Peter's life. So first, I'm going to turn back to John 13. I forgot, but you don't have to turn there with me. It's real short. And so, John 13, verse 31. When he was gone, Jesus said, now the Son of Man, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. My children, I will be with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. So Jesus is talking to the disciples right now. And he's saying, like, I'm going away, and you can't come with me, I'm sorry. And Peter gets up and says, like, where are you going? And Jesus replies, where I'm going you cannot follow, but you will follow later. Peter asks the Lord, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. Then Jesus answered, will you really lay down your life for me? Very truly I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And so, I know a lot of times when read the Bible, like it's kind of like just a chore. It just like goes like right past us. Verses don't make sense a lot of times and stuff. But this book, like this has so much emotion to it that if you can ask like the Spirit to like lead you in and tap into, like it changes your world because you like these are real people like going through this. Like this isn't a book written by someone that didn't have this happen. Like this is real. There's weight behind it. Like a lot of us, like right now, maybe a lot of times at the end of church, like you're fired up for Jesus, like you're ready to go, like I'm never doing that thing I used to do all the time again. I'm gonna love everyone. And that's what Peter says to Jesus. He's like, I'll lay down my life for you. I'll go to prison with you. Like, and Jesus looks at him and says, like, will you really? Like, because I know you're gonna deny me 3 times tonight after I'm arrested and sentenced to death. And like, that would crush me. Like, even if my friend told me, if I told Josh, like, I'll die, like, I'll do anything for you. And Josh was like, dude, I know you'll fail me. I'd be like, no, I won't. Like, I won't, Josh. Like no, I know you will. Like, you'll fail. That would hurt. Like, if a friend said that to you, that would hurt. Imagine Jesus in the flesh saying that to you. That's what Peter just felt. That he thinks he's ready. Like, maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't, that he's going to deny. Maybe he feels that way. Maybe it's false confidence and he knows that he's hiding this. Like sometimes we leave church camp and like we know nothing changed. Like we want it to, like, Jesus, I love you, but like to be called out in that and for him to say like, no, like you'll deny me, you'll fail me, you'll let me down, you'll abandon me. That hits hard. Like Peter. And so Peter, as you know, goes on to deny Jesus every time. Jesus is arrested and brought to the courts to be sentenced to death, to be tormented, flogged, punished, like the most gruesome death ever for you and me. And Peter follows him, he runs after him after he's arrested, and he's viewing from the outside of the courts, and a girl comes up to him and says, like, aren't you one of his disciples? And Peter's like, no, I'm not. And like the second time, no, I'm not. The third time, like, no, I'm not. And then the rooster crows. And in that moment, like, Peter knows, like, I'm a mess. Like, I'm broken. I'm never gonna be what I want to be. Like, imagine someone tells you you're gonna mess up, and you're like, no, I won't. And then later that night, you knew exactly what they said. Like, that would crush. How do you get over that? Peter, still knowing he would, still denies Jesus 3 times. His best friend that he just walked with for previously, the Messiah, like he knows who Jesus is, like he's seen him do all miracles, like he's lived with them for 3 years, like never leaves his side, like that's his guy. Like they are together in this, like they fight together, and he lets him down. He abandons him. That hurts. That you know you let him. So Jesus goes on to lay down his life for Peter, the man that just denied him, for you and me. He takes that death, and Peter realizes his last thing he ever did for Jesus was let him down, was abandon him. In the moment he his dying moments, he left him and said, no, like, he's not mine. And he has to sit there for at least 3 days before he's back. I couldn't imagine what he goes through in that time, that he's beating himself up. Like when you mess up, when I mess up, like when I sin and I do something I know I shouldn't, like again, so like I beat myself up. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm mad at myself for I don't know how long sometimes. Like I beat myself up over and over again. Like you're not good enough, you're not like. But like that's not what God wants. Like, that's the enemy getting at me, and it happens because it's hard, because we feel broken and weak, and we can't fight back. Like that is who I am. That's not who you are, and that's what Jesus comes back to Peter and tells him. So if you don't know that Jesus goes on later to what he calls Peter's reinstatement. And so that's where we're going to pick up in the Word. And so, like, Jesus had appeared to him already. He had come back and spoken with them, and this is the last time he comes back. And they're fishing on the boat, and Peter sees him. He's like, is that Jesus? And he's like, yeah, that's Jesus. He swims to him. He jumps out of the boat and swims to him. Like, that's how much Peter's all about it. And so they meet, they have breakfast, they have fish. And then, so that's where we pick up in John 21, verse 15. When they finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? yes, Lord. He said, you know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my lambs. Again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answered, yes, Lord. You know that I love you. You know that I love you. He said, take care of my sheep. The third time, he said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my sheep. So, when you guys hear that, what I used to think was going on is that Jesus knew Peter denied him 3 times. So Jesus comes back to restore Peter to where he was. And so I used to think he made him answer 3 times newly to make up for the 3 things he denied him. Because that's what we think we have to do a lot of times. I sin once, I have to do a good deed to make up for it. I feel like I have to do better than that. I have to earn my way back to Jesus' good side. And that's not true. That is not what the cross, that's not what the gospel is about. And so, I want to show you guys something that is really going on here that takes, like when we read it in our English translation, that's where it gets lost. Because the Bible wasn't written in English, and so when we translate it from language to language, some things just get lost in that. And so I want to show you guys a little bit about what was really written for this and what it really can mean for Peter, for Jesus, for you, and for me. And so, in this it says, Peter, do you love me? And Peter says, yes, Lord, I love you. So in English, we have one word for love. And it covers a lot. You guys know, like you can say, like, I can tell JC and Josh, and like my team, I love my team. Absolutely love my team. But if I call my mom, like, and I say I love you, like, those are different things, and you guys know that, right? Like, the way you love each other here is different than the love you have for your parents or your brother or sister, because it just is different. And so, but in the Greek, there's actually 3 different words for love that mean 3 different things. Just like if I were to tell Josh I love him, it means one thing. If I were to tell my mom I love her, it means another. And God's love for me is a whole other thing. But we don't get that because it just says love. That's all it says. So we miss a lot. And so Greek has 3 words, which is what this was written in. Eros is one, like a husband and a wife love each other. And then the 2 that are used here, there's 2 different words used here. There's phileo and agape. And agape is unconditional. God's love for us, what he wants from us. And phileo is like the love I have for Josh and Casey and for you guys here. It's like a brotherly love. It's like a feeling. It's that I like you guys and I'll help you, I'll serve you. It's not unconditional. It's more about my feeling than it is about my commitment to you. And so, to break it down like, even further, so phileo is considered affection. It says I like you. Like I said, it's a brotherly love, and it's based on feelings, and it's actually the most common type of love. You see, like, I phileo you guys. I really do. Like, I phileo you guys. Like, I love you guys. I don't agape you guys. I'm sorry. Like, we're not that close, you know what I mean? But I phileo you guys. And then agape is unconditional. It's godly and divine. It's you have all of my attention, more than my affection, yet you have all of my affection as well. It's that I commit to you and I don't just like you. Regardless of feeling or satisfaction, it is sacrificial. Regardless of what's going on, no matter the cost, I choose love, and I love you. And it's the love that God has for every single one of you in here, and it's the love that he calls you into to be a part of and have for him. And so now we're going to go back and read it again, and it's not in its original, with a little bit of the original language. And I'll explain what's going on is that Simon, son of John, do you agape me more than these? Yes, Lord, Peter says. You know that I phileo you. And so in that, like what just happened, it's like, Jesus, like, do you agape me? And Peter responded, I phileo you. Like, Peter's off somehow. Like, there's something missing here. Like, he's saying, Jesus, like, I like you, and I'll serve you, but I don't love you like that. And so Jesus is like, okay, feed my sheep. And then he says again to Peter, do you agape me? And Peter again looks at Jesus and says, no, Lord. Like, he says, yes, Lord, I phileo you. And we see it just as love. So in this, like, what's going on here is like, so
step into Peter's shoes and imagine what he's just gone through. He's let down the Messiah, the guy that has died for him, the King of Kings, he's everything, the one we worship. Like, he just let him down 3 times, and he how do you feel when you let God down? You feel dirty and disgraced. Like, imagine doing it like in front of him, leaving him to die. Like, you let him down that bad. Like, Peter is broken with Jesus. He feels the way you and I feel when we feel broken. He looks at Jesus, looking Jesus in the eye, and Jesus wants him to say, like, I agape you. He wants him to step into that love. But Peter, being so broken over his sins, feeling so worthless and ashamed, is like, no, Lord, like, I phileo you. That's all I have. Like, I can never agape you. And in doing so, he even rejects God's agape love for him. He says, like, Lord, you can't love me like that. Like, I don't love you like that. That's not what this is, right? Like, I let you down. You can't agape me if I'm going to let you down again and again and again. Like, you can't have that for me. Like, I don't have that for you. How could I ever have that for you? Like, I'm a mess. And Jesus, like I said, meets him right where he's at. And so the third time, what Jesus says to him is, Peter, you phileo me. And then it says that Peter was hurt. But if we go to the original translation, it says, like, he was grieved. The same way that the disciples were grieved when Jesus died. Like, imagine, like, what they were going through. Like, Peter's going through that again right now. He's grieved, he's hurt. Because Jesus didn't say agape again. He said, you phileo me. Peter, in his brokenness, is like, yes, Lord, like, you know all things, you know I phileo you. And so, in this we see the perfect picture of Jesus meeting Peter right where he's at. Like, I don't know about you guys, I don't know where you're at in life or what you've done, but I know it's hard. It's the hardest thing in the world for sometimes to agape God, to love him unconditionally, like, to love him at all, even to love him. Like, it's so hard. But Jesus steps down and he looks at Peter and is like, okay, like, do you phileo me? Like, where you're at right now, like, God's calling you into agape love. He's calling you into a perfect love that you've never felt before. Just like he did Peter in this moment. But maybe you're like Peter. You're like, I'm too broken. I'm too much of a mess. I've done too many bad things. I know I'm going to do it again. Like, I don't deserve that. I can't give you that. And you think, like, that's not good enough for God. Like, God, when I get there, I'll come back. I'll agape you. But Jesus doesn't want that. That's not what he wants. He wants your heart. Yes, he's patient. He always wants it. So he steps down and says, like, it's okay that you phileo me. Like, give me all that you have. Like, wherever you're at, whatever thing you've done, like they said, that was put a wedge in there. Just give it to him. Like, it's okay. Even if you do it again, like, we're all going to mess up again. Like, Jesus is like, I'm with you in this. Like, it's okay to be broken. It's okay to be hurt, to be wounded, to be ashamed. But it's not okay to stay there. It's not okay to sit in that and think that's who you are, because that's not who you are. That's not who you were made to be. And that's not what Jesus is calling you. So even if you're sitting there right now, and that's where you think you are, it's okay. Like, be honest with God. Like, tell him that's where you're at. Like, and that's between you and God. Like, you don't have to tell him else. You don't have to do that. Like, that's between you and God. You have to be honest with him, because he won't take it from you unless you give it to him. He wants you. It's the real you. So, in this time, wherever you guys are at, I want to give you guys time to be honest with God, be honest with yourself about where you're at with him in a relationship. Like, and it's okay, there's no shame wherever you're at, whatever you've done, whatever you feel, there's no shame. Like, it's okay, like, we'll get there. Like, God's patient. He's leading us, not us. So, if you just phileo God, it's okay. Like, he meets you there. He's calling you. If you don't even phileo him, if you're not like, God, I don't know, I'm doubting my Thomas, he's meeting you where you're at. He wants to lead you through it and guide you. Maybe you've had enough of God. Maybe you're like, I'm out. He's still reaching out. Just like the woman at the well, no matter what we've done, He's still offering that grace. He still died for you to come to Him. So, if we have a song, if not, it's okay. But there's a song I want you guys to hear. And it's not a normal worship song where we're singing it to God. It's actually a song that I want you guys to hear the Father. I want you to hear Jesus sing it over you. Okay? Because it's what He's saying to you. So, during Jesus' silent, you don't have to do anything, do whatever you want. Say your Jesus' name, pray anything you want. It's all you and God. This is not for me, this is for Him and you. Be honest with Him. Tell Him where you're at. Let Him tell you He loves you through that. He loves you still. So just take this time inside. Let's just give Him.
I want your heart, and I want it all, not just a part.